And the reason why I switched over from the Sony A7S Mark III to the Sony FX3 is one reason that no one has talked about in any of the videos. While there are a lot of really attractive features that make the FX3 a better cinema camera than the Sony A7S III, like easy to use record buttons, the top handle that conveniently has all of the audio accessories, or even the fact that it has red recording lights, feels a little bit more robust, has an internal fan. These are all bells and whistle features that I truly love and adore about the FX3, but they're not why I switched over. And a disclaimer, I actually love the Sony A7S III and wish I could have kept it. I'm primarily a videographer, but on the hobby side, and also what I get hired as is a photographer. So making this transition between the two cameras was a bit of a pain in the butt because I really liked this camera. And another disclaimer, I've been using the Sony A7S III for the past year and absolutely love it. I've shot several short films, documentaries, and even my latest short film that's shot on an RE camera, I was even able to blend that in with my Sony A7S seamlessly. While I'm missing my viewfinder that my camera has, I really, as a photographer, never even used it. So these features to switch over to the FX3 were not things that I was attached to. But there is one thing, one feature that the FX3 has that hands down no one's talked about, which I don't understand because it is the best thing about it. As soon as I figured it out, I was like, wow, this is like game changer for me as a filmmaker. And it is the top handle. No, not the fact that on the top handle you have all these beautiful audio accessories. It's actually this mode that I realized I can switch my FX3 into. So as you can see, I've kind of got the camera rigged out. I have an external Atmos Shobi. Then I have a Rode wireless mic attached, clipped onto one of the XLR cables. I've got my beautiful Sennheiser mic right here that I have plugged into the mic spot, and all of these accessories attached to the top handle and audio ports. And with a flip of a switch, if I want to go from cinema, big camera mode, I can literally unscrew these little dials here, take off the top handle, and now I have a small, nimble camera system. Okay, so first glance, this doesn't really seem like a huge thing, but if you are a photographer, gimbal operator, or even YouTube vlogger, this is an incredible system that makes this camera stand out as being a one-of-a-kind system. Let me explain. One of the major reasons why I like shooting on small cameras in the first place is because I can mount them on my gimbal. I'm a huge gimbal user, but one of the things I dislike about a gimbal is once my camera's built out with microphones and all these things set up, it is virtually impossible to mount it onto my Ronin S3. So then I gotta take bells and whistles off until now, when I have it all attached to this top handle, I can disattach this, pop this onto my gimbal, and within a few clicks and switches, I have my camera mounted on my gimbal in a very nimble setup. But you're like, Zach, what about audio? What about your monitor? Okay, we're sacrificing the monitor, but I also have a secondary microphone to which I can clip into my camera setup, and within those quick switches, this camera is now on a gimbal with a microphone in a light setup. I can also start vlogging, taking photos, and this is actually what makes this camera even better than something like an RE camera, any sort of the cinema cameras that you have out there, because those cameras are big, bulky cameras, and they're big and bulky because of their form and function, and you can't really disassemble an FX6 or an RE or a Red to the size to which an FX3 can get to in that short period of time, and actually it's just virtually impossible. You can't make these cameras smaller. So with this mode alone, I have now stripped down my camera, can go do these wild shoots and setups, and I've absolutely loved this system. All right, now final verdict. Was it worth switching over from the Sony A7S III to the FX3? Is this one-handle camera mode really worth it? Yes, it was totally worth it. As much as I love having the Sony A7S III, like I said, I've shot so many things on it, it really kind of felt like it had a plateau as being a movie camera. And while I wouldn't even say that the FX3 is a cinema camera, it definitely, even though Sony advertises it to being like part of their cinema line, it doesn't have the features to which cinema cameras have, but it gets you to the point to where you can do cinema things. For example, recording on 2 microphones instead of having just one is a huge feature. Actually, in fact, I can record on 3 to 4 microphones off of this system, while the Sony A7S Mark III kind of plateaus at 1. Now you can get different devices and stuff that you put onto it, but it just doesn't function. It was like a photography camera that they modified into a video camera. This is a video camera that can go into a photography mode if you like it. Now, there is a lot of other videos out there talking about the amazing features of the FX3, like where the buttons are, the menu systems, all of that stuff, and I would easily say that is also a huge plus and a huge feature. You are missing the viewfinder, but if you're a photographer like me, I actually don't ever use the viewfinder. Maybe like 4 times in my photography career have I used a viewfinder to take photos. Also, the A7S III and the FX3 are not excellent photography cameras. The autofocus for photography isn't the sharpest, and the resolution is only like 12 megapixels, which I think our cell phones can shoot pretty close to that. So if it's a photography camera you're looking for, I recommend other Sony cameras. If there's a video camera that you're looking at and you're maybe on the bridge point, should I get the FX3 or A7S III? I have made the transition over from the A7S III and haven't looked back, mostly because of this top handle system. But that's just my thoughts and opinions. Let me know what you guys think of this setup and if I should do a video breaking down my FX3 setup. I'm really happy with how this whole thing works, talking about the bells and whistles from the microphone, the monitor, and overall I'm looking at it right now because it's just a cool system. And while I'm not really big on gear, I truly think good tools make better filmmakers. And once you do have a dialed in system, you're not focusing on all the bells and whistles. You can actually just make good content. But those are my thoughts and opinions. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Have you done the transition? Do you shoot on FX3? Hate it? Do you love the A7S III and think that I'm a complete lunatic talking about this? And maybe there's systems that work for the A7S III that I did not mention. Let me know that in the comment section below. But overall, guys, I absolutely love you. You have an amazing time, and I hope this video helped you out as much as this system has helped me out as a shooter. I'll see you guys in another video.